Hi, welcome to the Research Like a Pro with DNA question and answer series. I'm Nicole Dyer, and today's video is about AncestryDNA's enhanced shared matches. And this is available if you purchase the Pro tools at Ancestry. And today I'll be sharing an excerpt from our recent DNA office hours session for those in our Research Like a Pro with DNA classes. And we discuss how to use the enhanced shared matches to identify matches that don't have trees. And so join us for this video and hope that you can get something out of it to help you with your DNA work. Now we get to talk about Ancestry's enhanced shared matches. This is available if you subscribe to the Ancestry Pro tools, which I believe is about $10 a month. I signed up and I've been using this a bit, trying to think of how it can help me in my research. And this is something that I love on 23andMe and my heritage. So I was really happy to see it come to Ancestry and really help us to identify more of our DNA matches and potentially help us solve more problems where we kind of got to a point of it's these three brothers or it's somebody who descended from this couple, but I don't know who. And hopefully now this additional data can help us narrow it down even more because we can place more of these matches in the correct place on the tree, and we can provide possibly tools like Banyan DNA, we can provide these amounts of DNA shared between the shared matches in order to get better precision in the calculations and the hypothesis testing. So what I'm showing you right now is an example of what the shared matches page looks like if you are subscribed to the Pro tools, and it's called Enhanced Shared Matches. And I'm sure a lot of you have been playing around with it. It does have quite a, it's kind of buggy, and often I have to refresh the page when I'm going through. It has pagination at the bottom. So if you press next, it'll take you to page 2. And then sometimes the pagination gets messed up and you're seeing the same page over and over again. So then I have to refresh up here. You can search through the shared match list, but sometimes that doesn't work either. So I don't know if any of you have seen those kind of bugs or issues with it, but I believe it's still in beta, or it's probably just so new that they're working out all the kinks. Well, let's just kind of go over the elements of this page and just review how it works. So if you don't have Pro Tools, the Shared Matches tab on an individual match page, you with RE. So this is my match page with RE. And if you're wondering why it looks like this, I'm using the Goldie May tool that allows you to make names on a DNA match page private. So it blurs out the images and then makes the names private. And so that's why it looks like that. So on this individual match page between myself and this match, RE, I'm on the Shared Matches tab. And in the past, it just would list these people's names and the amount that they share with me. And actually, this is a funny story. One of the times that my husband got interested in his DNA match list, he got confused about what this was saying, and he thought the amount shared was with the person. So the shared match and the match, how much they shared, which is in this column. And so he stayed up late while I was sleeping, talking with a cousin who had a non-paternal event, thinking that it was his cousin who was the father of this person. And when really it was like his third cousin who was the parent. So he didn't understand that. So now it's both. So now you can see how much I share with this shared match and how much the match, RE, shares with this shared match. So essentially we have a group of 3 people, myself, RE, and DE, and then myself, RE, and JE. And it tells you the amount shared with myself and the relationship. So this is Diana, this is my mother, and we share this amount of centimorgans. But how much does DE share with RE? She shares 108 centimorgans, and they're possibly third cousins. Then the next match is JE, and to me, this is my brother, but to RE, this is a half-second cousin. So it's right now in order by closest matches to myself. And that's how the shared match list was placed in order in the past. I wish that it would allow me to filter and sort it based on RE's closest matches. That's what would be really helpful. But it doesn't do that right now. It has sort, but when you click sort, it only allows you to change it to newest matches. So hopefully that will get better. So as you go down the list, you'll see in order my closest matches down to my furthest matches. And then over here, it'll just kind of be in a random order because we don't know how much Ari shares with each person. We do now, but it's not taken into account in the sorting. So that's just kind of an overview. So it gives you the name of the match and how much they share with you, how much they share with the match whose page you're on, and the relationship prediction. Then you can click on this third cousin to see more about the relationship prediction. Now,
Nicole, we have a question on that. Can you go back to
yeah,
that
sure.
really quick? So when the lines are marked paternal or maternal lines, how accurate is this? And is this based on trees or the actual DNA chromosome match?
Oh, great question. So right here, we're seeing maternal side, both sides, maternal side and maternal side. So that's what the question is asking. So let's zoom in a little bit on that. So for the matches, this is called side view, and this is a special technology that Ancestry has created to identify which side of which side of your family your matches are on. And it is not based on trees. It is based on phasing. And the short answer is that Ancestry claims that they can phase the alleles to be either a maternal or paternal based on the other people who are sharing DNA in that region. So because Ancestry has so many test takers, they can look at all of this data and see all the people that are matching each other, and they can say, this is a real segment, and these people are all matching on it, and they match each other. So this is on one side. And they don't actually tell you maternal or paternal until you label parent one and parent two as maternal or paternal. So in your results, side view will tell you all these matches belong to one parent, parent one, and all these matches belong to parent two. And then you can go in and see, like, oh, this is my second cousin on my maternal side. So then you can look at all those matches and you can label that parent one side as your maternal side. Once you've done that, it shows up like this as maternal side. And then, of course, like a brother or any nieces or nephews, that kind of thing could potentially be both sides. So, yes, it's highly accurate. I found it to be very good. And every once in a while, you'll see somebody who doesn't have a side assigned, and that's if there aren't enough matches on that particular shared segment and they can't figure it out. So, thank
Okay,
you for that.
great.
Good
And
question.
I put an article in the chat where the Ancestry explains it all, how it works. So it can be good to just go read through it and just understand exactly what that means, the phasing and how they split.
Great. All right, now let's keep talking about these enhanced shared matches. So how can this help us? I wanted to think of a use case that would be an immediate way we can all test out the enhanced shared matches. And the one that kind of came to mind first is identifying an unknown match or a match who does not have a tree. So when we're trying to identify a match with no tree, if we do not have the enhanced shared matches, the information we usually have at our fingertips to identify them is their name, the amount of shared DNA, any information in their profile, such as their residence, the number of segments, the longest segment, predicted relationships, ethnicity, and then looking at shared matches, which is usually what we do to figure out which great grandparent line they would fall into after doing the leads method. So let's take an example from my mom's matches. And this match is named RC. And you can see that we've used shared matches to kind of narrow down a potential common ancestral couple. So it looks like this could be on the Harris side. And there's no tree for RC, but RC shares 115 centimorgans across 4 segments and is on the paternal side, which I failed to add. Should have added the side on this list. I guess it goes along with the clustering, but it's actually through the side view, so it's not through clustering. It's kind of through clustering. So it's paternal. We think maybe Harris. But from there, we really can't figure out anything more because all we have are these initials and no tree information. So now let's look at the shared matches when we have the enhanced shared matches and see what we can learn. So here are the clues for RC. We just know the name is RC. The amount of shared DNA is 115. Clicking on the profile for RC shows a residence in Oklahoma, which correlates with what we know about the other Harris descendants. They joined Ancestry in 2018 and were last active over a year ago, which tells me this person is probably not an active genealogist, but maybe someone who took a DNA test and then didn't come back. Number of segments is 4. Longest segments, it is 49. And I actually also calculated the average segment size. So if I take 115 divided by 4, it's about 28, but some of those are going to be smaller because this one is larger. Then the predicted relationships are about second cousin once or twice removed or half second cousin once or twice removed. And that's the prediction from Ancestry. Looking at the ethnicity tab, there wasn't anything that stood out. Diana and this person have very similar ethnicity estimate. And then the shared matches, which is the most helpful thing so far, has pointed to other matches who are already grouped into the Harris Hoosier couple, which is Diana's third great grandparents, and then their son, who married a Welch, Harris Welch, which is her second great grandparents, and then some Fraser and some Briscoe, which are collateral lines that married into the Harris and Welch family. So we don't really know exactly which ancestral couple is correct, and we would like to know. So now let's look at the new clues from the enhanced shared matches. I scrolled through all of the enhanced shared matches for RC. And the first one that I saw that stood out was this one right here, GS. And GS shares only 36 with my mom, with Diana, but shares 278 with RC. So GS can now help us identify RC because we already know who GS is. GS has been identified as a descendant of John C. Harris and Melissa Welch through their daughter, Paralee Harris, through Paralee's daughter, Supreme Hughes, and Supreme's daughter, Mary Lambert. So this is a third cousin of Diana, but it looks like GS and RC are closer cousins, possibly half first cousins once removed or a first cousin twice removed. So now we have a clue that perhaps these two are on the same family branch. So perhaps RC descends from Paralee as well. And the common ancestral couple would then be Harris Welch instead of one generation back at Harris Hoosier. So we've got this clue here. Now, continuing to scroll down the enhanced shared matches list, we see another match, JL, who shares a high amount with RC. So this information is all new. In the old shared matches list, we wouldn't know how much RC and JL share. We would only know how much Diana shares with JL and how much Diana shares with RC. So now we see that RC and JL share 304 centimorgans, and the relationship prediction is a first cousin 2 times removed. And this person also had a tree. So clicking on the tree information shows the same couple, Paralee Harris, who married James Hughes and had a daughter named Supreme Hughes. So this is actually one generation even closer. And now with these 2 matches being possibly first or second cousins with RC, we can now hypothesize that she also descends through Supreme Hughes or through Paralee and James. So we've got a much more narrowed down estimate for where RC could land, even though she has no tree. So before enhanced shared matches, all we had was the guess that RC is a descendant of James B. Harris and Martha Hoosier, Diana's third great grandparents. After looking at those 2 enhanced shared matches that are close matches with RC, we have a likely path through John C. Harris and Melissa Welch, Diana's second great grandparents, and through their daughter Paralee and through Paralee's daughter Supreme. So even without that tree and without that match responding, we have a new estimate for how this person is related. And this can be immensely useful in even closer questions of unknown parentage when we have like an unknown grandparent or great grandparent and we have larger matches and we're trying to figure out the puzzle of how these matches all fit together in the tree. So this can be really helpful and it can help us in our more distant research questions as well. And it can help us know who we need to contact for more information and who we might want to reach out to increase coverage and all of those things. So identifying matches is at the heart of what we do in our DNA research. So this is going to be a really, really valuable tool. All right, any questions?
Well, we had a follow-up question to the one about the paternal and maternal lines. So
Yeah.
going back to your one of your previous slides, the question is the DNA match RE sorted by their maternal or paternal lines? So it's back a little bit before the enhanced shared matching. There you go.
It doesn't look like we can see the side view for RE, does it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so that would be nice, but no, I don't see that. And that's something that I sometimes will ask when I message my matches is this on your, what side of the family does it look like to you? Like in your pedigree, is it on your grandma, maternal grandmother or paternal grandfather? Like which side is it for you? Because that can narrow down their tree for me when I'm looking for the common ancestral couple. And it doesn't seem to me that that information is available to us for our shared matches.
So you're saying that for the shared matches, we don't know. Yeah, I agree with that. We doesn't look like we can see that.
At least in this screenshot. And that's a really good
Hmm.
question and something we
Yeah,
could all ask Ancestry to share with us because wouldn't that be nice?
yeah,
And I don't know. I
yeah.
wonder if they think that would compromise privacy. To me, right now, it doesn't, I can't think of how that would be. So it seems like it could be useful. It might say parent one or parent two, because if that person hasn't
Mhm.
classified which parent is which, it might not be helpful.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe they just don't want to worry about it because it kind of depends on the user
Yeah.
to put something in there.
But it's definitely something you could contact people about. And if they are somebody who has logged in recently, you're much more likely to get a response. So you could check their profile and see if they've logged in the last few months.
Well, that was such a great demonstration to show us how we could use that. And I think it's going to be so helpful because Ancestry has so many matches. We have so many people on Ancestry and we have good trees. 23andMe it showed this, but there's no trees and there's not that many people. So this is way better.
Yep, the trees are just really a strength for Ancestry and the size of their database. So
Mhm.
it's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, going back here. So, anyway, to wrap this section up, I encourage you all to try the enhanced shared matches, even if you just get it for 1 month. Try out this idea of identifying an unknown match, maybe somebody who shares above 100 centimorgans with you who doesn't have a tree, and see what you can find out by looking for their closer matches in the enhanced shared matches list. Then, after you've tried that out, you can write about it in your reflection journal, and that can be another tool that you've tried, and you'll know how to use it in the future when you're trying to think of what to do to help you solve a particular case. And in answer to the question, is SideView now part of Pro Tools? No, as far as I know, it is not. Okay. As far as I know, the only part of the DNA tools that are Pro Tools are is the enhanced shared matching, but I could be wrong because I haven't checked today. Um,
I am looking at it right now and I haven't upgraded to Pro
okay.
Tools yet. And I still have side view, so I don't think it's part of it.
I know that you have to be like the manager of the kit in order to see some parts of the side view reports, like in the ethnicity. So if you're not seeing everything you think you could see in that, it could be because somebody has shared their results with you as a viewer and you just don't have full access.